It's episode 53 of the F1 Manager Career Mode with Ferrari, and we've had to make a few changes. Carlos Sainz is out the door, and we're not even at the mid-season point. Is it breaking point for the prancing horse? I would say it is, because we've essentially sacked our former world champion who won it in the first season. We are in the third season, and things are brutal, right? They are. We've promoted Oscar Piastri from reserve to number 2. And we've brought in Liam Lawson as the reserve driver. And we've also had a few changes in terms of aerodynamicists and all that good stuff. But anyway, I digress. We're here in France, but with a problem. With a car that's slow in the straights, with a car that's slow in the corners, and you could argue we've worsened our driver lineup. Well, I say you could argue, right? Piastri is lower rated than Sainz, but Sainz is near 30, and Piastri's like 20, 21. I just thought it made sense to bring him in. He's 79 rated. And you know what? He actually impressed me in his practice sessions. He wasn't too far off either Leclerc or Sainz, regardless of who he was in. But as you can see in practice 1, we've stuck in at Piastri and Liam Lawson. It's 16th and 20th. Liam Lawson, a 5/10 of some guy called Richard in the Williams. As for practice 3, we don't have a Ferrari in the top 13. Guan Yu Zhou is taking a grid penalty, but it's 18th and 20th. And for a cut, I mean, only 1.2 off the leading pace, which doesn't sound too bad, but it's no good. In the Q2, quality results, Piastri qualified 16th in Q1, so he's out. Leclerc got 12th, him and Hamilton on the 6th row of the grid. But as for the lights going out, it's a Red Bull 1-2. They've won last year's championship. They're probably going to win this year. We've got a McLaren or Mercedes behind. It's Perez leading Verstappen. Leclerc gets a decent launch off the grid. But I'm going to be intrigued here to see what Oscar Piastri can do compared to Sainz, because recently it's just been absolutely brutal, and Sainz's contract was the cheapest one to sort out, so I thought we'd get rid of him rather than Charles Leclerc. But Gasly's managed to insert himself in between both Red Bulls. Now George Russell has got himself for Verstappen, but Verstappen and Russell side by side. Leclerc is sitting in P12, but he's lost it to Esteban Ocon, but he's managed till we get back through. But as you can see, like, we're already losing so much time to the likes of Hamilton and Ocon. We just need to stay in DRS. We've got Piastri, who's all over the back of Mick Schumacher, but in turn, Mick Schumacher's all over the back of Leclerc. It's a disaster 2 laps in here. But moving a wee bit on, Gasly leads from Perez, Russell, Bottas, Verstappen, Norris, Ricciardo, Alonso, Hamilton, Vettel, Ocon, Albon, Stroll. Then it's ourselves with Leclerc, who's got a bit of a 2-second gap to Piastri behind. But we're battling with Lance Stroll here, and it's just not good enough. I mean, we're 12 laps in and we're 12 seconds off the pace, and it just sucks. I mean, Alonso's sitting in 7th, 9.6 off, but as Lance Stroll flies off the track, no idea, he rejoins, he's on the hard tyre, he tries to do it, he rejoins now, but could have been a disaster. As big Richard is looking for a manoeuvre, he'll line up Stroll in the DRS, but for what happened to Stroll, I'm not really sure. He kind of just did he think about going into the pits and then made a complete and utter balls up? As for Piastri, he's overtook Leclerc around the outside on lap 17, but there's not much point here making these two guys battle each other, so you may as well just pit them. But when your car's this slow, I mean, look at that, 25 laps in, 45 seconds off the pace. Absolutely disgraceful. We've pitted Charles Leclerc. A few other drivers will be getting to pit now. I mean, at this point, we're probably going to have to try a 2-stopper, because the hard's just not going to make it to the end. But again, Russell has took the lead. Him, Norris and Verstappen haven't pitted yet, but the likes of Gasly has. But Gasly, crucially, has made it in front of Hamilton and Vettel, so he'll probably, on his fresh tyres, take the lead, and he does. So with 13 laps to go, Gasly leads Verstappen. We've pitted Piastri for his second stop, but I mean, we're a minute and 8 seconds off the lead. It's disgraceful, if we're being honest. But there's a yellow flag, there's a Haas off, there's debris everywhere, and Charles Leclerc, don't even know what position he was battling for. It looks like a lowly P15 or something. It's just absolutely sent Magnussen to the shops, and it's no good. Leclerc sitting in 19th, front wing damage, a time penalty. Gasly's won from Verstappen and Russell. Bottas, Perez, Norris, Ocon, Hamilton, Alonso, Albon. But as for P13, unlucky for some, we're battling with Guan Yu Zhou with Piastri, but Zhou overtakes us. Piastri's going to get 14th on his debut. He's beat Leclerc, but it's not good enough. Obviously it's not good enough. I don't need to lie about it. He grabs the headrest, he flings it to one side. David Croft says that the Ferrari driver performed magically today. If that just doesn't sum up Ferrari at the minute, I don't know what does. But it's a great win from Pierre Gasly. George Russell's fastest lap was 7 times quicker than Gasly's, which is pretty mad. Verstappen leads the title though by 20 points. As for Red Bull, they lead by 51 points. Looks like it's definitely a 2-horse race for that department. But until the next episode, we need upgrades and we need a miracle.